In this video, we're going to talk about how to end a conversation politely. I have 7 tips for you, so let's unpack it. Hello again, friends. Alex Lyon here, and this channel, Communication Coach, is here for people like you, rising leaders, so that you can increase your own personal leadership impact and bring out the best in all of the people around you. And today we're talking about people skills. Every leader needs good people skills because sometimes people don't respect the boundaries that we have on our time and the kinds of work that we need to do. And if you're like me, you've been trapped, you've been painted in a corner by a person who won't let that conversation go. So we're going to talk about 7 ways that you can end these conversations politely. And as we talk about the list, I would like to ask yourself, which of these 7 do you feel would be most helpful for you personally? Because if you can pick out just 1 or even 2, that'll make sure you put it into practice that much more. So let's talk about the 7 tips. Number 1, you have to end on your turn. So in a conversation, there's a back and forth dynamic to communication. And when you want to end the conversation, you do it when you're already talking. You can't interrupt the other person because that will not come across as polite. That's an interruption. So you fight for some talking turn, say what you have to say, and then during that talking turn, you signal that you're ending the conversation. You have to end on your turn. All the rest of the tips flow from this concept. Tip number 2, set a time limit. Somewhere in the conversation, you have to indicate how much time you have to talk. You may do it at the very beginning of the conversation and say, hey, it's good to see you, Steve. I've got about 5 minutes to talk. What's up? Or you can do it somewhere in the middle of the conversation. You might say something along the lines of, I have about 1 more minute before I have to go, but let me finish with this thought. And somewhere in there, you're signaling the time, and then they hear, oh, okay, this conversation is going to end. And that's the way normal people do this. They let you know that they have about a certain amount of time, and then they end the conversation. This is going to be familiar to people. The third thing you want to do is like a little secret technique. You pack up your stuff. This is a nonverbal way to show them that you are leaving and moving on to the next thing. So you start putting things in your bag, you get your keys out, you put your coat on. This shows them, oh, something's changing here. Alex is about to leave. So that's a nonverbal signal that shows, it's reinforcing the fact that you're leaving verbally. You already said you're going to leave, you about a minute left or so, and you put your stuff on, you're committing to this non-verbally. By the way, these are called leave-taking behaviors. And this is what we all do naturally when we're about to go. And so these cues are really known and powerful to most people. They will pick up on them. The fourth thing you want to do is tell them that you have to go. So you have to use phrases that they're used to hearing, like I've got to run, I've got to get going. Those are phrases that signal, once again, that you're going to go. A lot of times people even feel like just saying that feels rude, but I assure you, this is just common phrases that wrapped into the other tips, they're going to understand that this means you're going to go. The next tip you want to do is tell them what you're about to do next. And you don't want to be too specific. Keep it nice and concise. But if you say things like, I have a meeting to go to, or I have some projects that I've got to get back on, or I'm a little behind on some work, then they'll know that, oh, he's not just abandoning this conversation because he doesn't like me. He's going because he has something else to do. So that's the next tip. So the tip after that is to use politeness. This is what we do when we like a conversation with someone, when we're happy that we've seen them. We say toward the end of it, it was really great catching up. I'm so glad I bumped into you. This is a great conversation. Now, of course, you want to be honest, but pick something that is honest and is true to who you are and express that politeness to them, because that shows them a little bit of respect. But also, this is the way we signal that we're wrapping up normally. So again, it'll be familiar to them and it'll set off those cues for them that, oh, I guess we're wrapping up. Like if somebody says, it was so great catching up with you, I'm so glad I bumped into you. We don't normally say that at the beginning of the conversation. We say it toward the end. And so that'll let them know yet another way that the conversation is ending, by using that politeness. And the last thing you want to do is to apologize and repeat. Now, you want to say, if they're stubborn and they're not breaking off, you want to say, I'm really sorry, but I do have to get going. Or I apologize, but I've got to go to my meeting now. A lot of times people need that little extra reinforcement toward the end. And by the way, saying you're sorry real quickly or apologize, you don't want to drag it out and make too big a deal of it. But this is the way people talk in a normal kind of polite conversation, they say little phrases like that. It doesn't mean you've actually done something wrong that you need to apologize for. It's just a way, once again, to signal that you're trying to be respectful to that person. Now, let me reassure you that if you do these 7 techniques, or even some of these techniques, you will come across as polite. A lot of times when we're maintaining a boundary, we feel like just maintaining a boundary around our time, around our energy and our focus, that's impolite. But the truth is that only you can maintain your boundaries. Other people are not going to do that for you. And if you're routinely getting painted into a corner in a conversation by somebody, they need a reminder of where that boundary is. And if you do it politely, they should respect it, and their feelings are not going to be hurt if you handle it this way. So as I mentioned earlier, I want to ask the question of the day: which of these 7 tips do you most see benefiting you personally? Which one do you think would help you the most? I would love to hear your comments in that section below the video. So thanks, God bless, and I'll see you next time.